Good afternoon. We're here to discuss the ongoing Crimes Against Children case investigation involving two people and ask for the public's assistance today. Mildred Chestnut, date of birth January 22nd of 2000, and Brandon Augustine, date of birth November 21st, 1998. On March 20th of this year, CMPD was contacted by Atrium Hospital in reference to a 4-month-old infant male who was being treated for injuries that the parents reported that were caused by a traffic accident, which the child was a passenger in. However, the severity of the child's injuries were not consistent with the minor crash, as the parents insisted. This prompted an investigation by our Crimes Against Children unit, and detectives issued warrants or signed warrants on March 21st against Mildred Chestnut and Brandon Augustine, the mother and the father of the child, for felony intentional child abuse inflicting serious injury. Chestnut and Augustine were also reported missing by family members around the same time as the police investigation began. The family was never asked to leave the hospital. They left the hospital and their child of their own free will. CMPD detectives have been looking for Chestnut and Augustine since prior to the time that they were even reported missing. Once the warrants were signed on March 21st, this became a fugitive investigation, which was led by our VCAT team, Violent Criminal Apprehension Team. CMPD believes that it is likely that Chestnut and Augustine have fled the state, and they know that they are wanted. Their vehicle was obviously abandoned and intentionally hidden. It was located in Austell, Georgia on March 21st. We can't get into specifics regarding the condition or location of the victim, but he is in a safe place. We also can't give any more specific information about the child abuse case, as Captain Fishback stated. Our focus at this time is the apprehension of both Chestnut and Augustine, and we ask the public's assistance in that. It is very important, and I reiterate, it's very important that if Chestnut and Augustine receive any assistance of any kind, that the persons or person helping them will be subject to criminal charges, to include aid and abet and accessory after the fact of a felony. We're asking anyone with any information, please come forward, call Crime Stoppers, and that number is 704-334-1600. And I'll take a few questions. Yes, sir.
Were they briefed by the couple before you said they were not asked to leave the hospital? Were they given the condition and knew that the injuries were consistent with the car accident before they fled the hospital? Were they briefed beforehand?
They knew the injuries of the child, but I don't know the specifics of what exactly they knew or exactly what they were told. But they knew that the child was injured.
And they left on their own? And
they left of their own free will.
Did they leave the child on the 20th or on the 21st?
I would have to look at the dates, but we were contacted on the 20th. I think the missing person report, the family states that they didn't have contact with them after the 18th.
When did the family find out that this was part of this felony child abuse investigation? Because I know the family has been very vocal of trying to get the community to help find these people without providing any of the context that you just shared with us.
I know the detectives have been in contact with them. To the specifics of what their knowledge is about the case, I do not know that answer.
When did you guys found the abandoned car in Georgia?
The 21st.
And you said that they do know that they are facing.
Well, of course, we haven't talked to them, so of course we don't know. We assume, based on what we know, that they are aware of these charges.
And these injuries, were you informed of, okay, it looks as if these injuries happened 2 days or the day before the child was brought in? And if not, can you say if it looked like the injuries had happened over a period of time?
Now that I can't. I can't speak about it even if I knew the answer to that question, and I don't know that.
Do you know any details about what the injuries were?
No.
Is the child expected to survive? I know you said they're home birthday.
My understanding is it's life-altering injuries. I'll say that.
In Georgia, do you know if there's any connection, or have you heard of any rumors of who they may have gone to in Georgia? Do they have friends there, or is it just they're trying to literally book it out of town?
And we don't want to give up too much on that aspect. We believe that they are getting assistance. How or where that assistance is coming from, we're not willing to talk about quite yet.
And I know that there are license plate reading cameras that the city has that are, spread out all over the country. Did y'all get any hits on their vehicle through the license plate reading cameras that are set up for that network?
And I'll be honest with you, I don't know that answer.
Did you have any prior contact with this couple, or were there any other former issues with?
They don't have any criminal record whatsoever.
And no complaints to like Child Protective Services that you're aware of?
Not that we're aware of.
Other questions for the major?
You might have said this. Is this their biological child?
That is.
And the child's 4 months old, right? At the time.
That's what we have, yes, ma'am.
How many people would you say you've spoken with to try and get information about their whereabouts?
Oh, that would be a guess at best, but I know that our detectives, from the Crimes Against Children detectives to our VCAT detectives, have done exhaustive work in trying to talk to whoever will talk, family members, neighbors, just about anybody that we can to try to find. Listen, we're all parents. So this is a huge impact for not only the team that's investigating, but the team that's looking for them to apprehend them. So it hits home, and this victim can't speak for himself, and so that's our role, and that's why we're here today. Because, listen, we just need to figure out what happened, what went on, and the only way we can do that is to get them into custody.
Is family being cooperative in the investigation?
We have talked to the family multiple times.
Some family members are out of state as well, correct?
I don't know. I'm sure that probably is the case, but I don't know that for a fact.
And so the hospital that this was all centered around in Charlotte, do they live in Charlotte as well?
Do they actually have an address in Charlotte? I don't know what their actual address is. I believe that to be the case, but I don't know that for a fact.
What would your message be for them if they're watching this right now?
Well, it's time. It's time to do right by your child, for one. I think that any parent, I know that those parents have to be having second thoughts about running, about not coming and seeing that child. We're all humans, so we're just asking them to come do the right thing, turn themselves in. Let's figure this thing out. We just want to sit and talk. They've got some things they need to address, but it's time.
All right, thank you, Major, for your time. I do need to get him back as he commands this investigation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Prior to this addressment, our Public Affairs Office did push out a tweet with additional information as well as to our media partners. It's there in print for you to refer to some of those more specific numbers in there. So again, refer to that tweet. And thank you for joining us.